Hey, yo, this is your girl, Melanin Audacity, and thank you for tuning in to the Master Elements Podcast.
Smash the elements. Smash the elements. Smash the elements. Smash the elements.
All right. Welcome to the Master Elements Podcast. Thank you for watching. My name is Melanin Audacity. My co-host, Sincere Love to God,
Peace,
and
peace.
DJ RP Beats. We're in the house tonight. Today is Sunday, June 7th, 2020, and we have a plethora of topics to cover tonight. But first, let's get the business out of the way. You can reach us across all social media platforms, me at Melanin Audacity, Sincere Love to God at Sincere Love to God, and DJ RP Beats, DJ RP Beats across all social media platforms. And finally, you can subscribe by pressing the red button below. It's free, doesn't cost a thing. Like the video and click the notification bell so that you're notified when we upload new videos. So, sincere love to God. Let's get to it.
For sure. And definitely hit that like button, man. When you do that, it raises our profile, lets other people get eyes on the videos and stuff like that. So we can spread the message, you know what I mean? Expand the platform.
That's right. Thank you.
So, yeah, man. So a few things we're going to be discussing tonight. I guess right off top, we might as well just jump right into the whole Black Lives Matter thing. It seems like, their campaign is very strong right now, very heavy. You know what I'm saying? And so I just wanted to get into some of the particulars dealing with the Black Lives Matter, the movement, the organization. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people still don't understand that it is an organization. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people just look at it as a hashtag, a slogan, a saying. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people still to this day. A lot of people already know what it really is, but there's still a lot of people that, just saying it because it just sounds good or it's a hashtag or whatever the case may be. And me too. I use the hashtag myself. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, exactly.
But go ahead.
I think I was about to say that I actually forgot.
You forgot what you was about to say?
I forgot just that quick, cool. But go ahead, carry on.
Yeah, it's cool. We come back to that. You know what I'm saying? I'll be doing that all the time.
There's so much going on.
Real talk. But so Black Lives Matter, man. Black Lives Matter is more than just a hashtag. It's more than just a slogan. Now, the sentiment of saying Black Lives Matter, I'm with that all day. You know what I'm saying? The sentiment behind that saying, that slogan, of course, you know what I'm saying? That's something that I would get behind. And like I said, I've used the hashtag over the years, you know what I'm saying? I kind of got hip to the movement and everything that was going on a little bit early on. So I used the hashtag more strategically since then. But at first I was just, Black Lives Matter with everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And, start paying attention to some of the moves they was making, and some of the things that was happening over the years. First of all, let's just talk about the founders of Black Lives Matter. It came together in 2013 after the Trayvon Martin case. And it was founded by three women, Alicia Garza, Patrice Cullors, I believe her name is, and Opal Tometi. All three of whom happen to be, LGBT. You know what I'm saying? That would be here nor there, you know what I'm saying, ordinarily. You know what I'm saying? What a person's sexual preference is doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? We're not here to judge nobody. We ain't got nothing against nobody's lifestyle, nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we don't just believe in coincidences. You know what I'm saying? Like, all three of them happen to be on that same type of kick. And a lot of the agenda that they try to push revolves around LGBT stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what we see happening is, they'll take Black issues like the death of Black people at the hands of police officers and race soldiers, and they'll take the momentum from that issue to raise the awareness for LGBT and trans and all these other things that don't have nothing to do with what's actually going on.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yes. I mean, really, when their website first went, not when, I don't know about when it first went up, but maybe back in like the Ferguson era. That was around 2015, 2016.
Mm-hmm.
When I was on their website, they were blatantly saying that, you know, they wanted to redesign the black family structure and take the man out as the head, and how we don't really need men in the family structure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, you know, talking about investing in different technologies to be able to reproduce without a man being necessary in the equation. You know, you can have two moms, you can have two dads, you can have trans this, trans that. You know what I'm saying? And really, it was really all about taking the man out of the black family structure and replacing and just changing the whole dynamic. You know what I'm saying? And they was blatantly saying this on the website around that time. But of course, they got a lot of backlash. They got a lot of criticism from people on the grassroots, people on Twitter and stuff like that. And so now, when you go on their website, the language is a lot more codified. You know what I'm saying? They're still saying, you know what I'm saying, talking about LGBT rights and trans rights and all these other things. But now the language is more codified, and they're making sure that they say black, 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 black a lot more. You know what I'm saying? Because they realize that people are hip to the game. People are hip to the bait and switch that they've been pulling, and that they still pulling.
And that sounds like what you brought up last week regarding the white founders of the NAACP. It's kind of, although it wasn't an LGBT motive, ultimately, they were just taking the money that they were raising allegedly to help blacks.
I mean, it's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It's
that's what I'm saying. That
white people.
That conversation.
Yeah, Black Lives Matter the same way. It's funded by white people. You know what I'm saying? And big money white people. That's why you see it being pushed so hard in the media, you know, all over the radio, on TV, you know what I'm saying? All the big platforms. Most of the emails that you've been getting lately from companies that you subscribe to their email list, they're all saying Black Lives Matter. You know what I'm saying? They're all sending you emails. Like a couple of weeks ago, you was getting emails about COVID-19 and how their company is going to make the adjustments to the social distancing and blah, blah, blah. Most of the restaurants and everybody that you subscribe to will send you those type of emails. Right. Those same businesses, those same corporations are sending the emails now saying Black Lives Matter. We stand with the black community.
Yes, I've been sharing them.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. So anytime you see, you know, the corporate world getting behind a movement that's supposed to be beneficial to black people, your antennas should automatically go up. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion.
Yes. Straight marketing, boy. Straight marketing.
What'd you say, RP?
Well, you know, really, you know, what piggybacking on what Sincere said, you know, they use, you know, situations that impact our communities as a way to market to us. They use our pain to profit. I mean, that's just, they've always done that. We've always done that. And we have to be, you know, very, very clear about where our dollars go at this particular point in time. Who we spend our money with. How is our money going to circulate? How are we going to keep our dollars in our community? What we have to identify our black businesses. We have to support them now. We have to step away from these targets and all these different individuals that are funding this president, that are funding this presidential campaign. We have to take our dollars back.
Absolutely.
No doubt. But it sounds like you getting into the solutions. So we're gonna talk about that toward the end of the show. Some of the solutions moving forward.
Yeah, and I was trying to thumb through my notes because I was doing some research for one of our shows, and I went to that website because I wanted to see what they were saying about the topics, and I think it was for the Arbery case and stuff a couple of shows back, and I was the Black Lives Matter website, and I was disappointed that there was not more information about the police killings and the things that they led me to believe, or what I got from what their organization was about, and I couldn't find anything on it. I was very disappointed. And that's how I ended up finding that Mapping Police Violence website, which is mappingpoliceviolence.com or org, I'm not sure. But that's how I found that website, because when I didn't find anything about, you know, the police violence and some other cases that I'm thinking Black Lives. That, I guess that's my bad for assuming that they would have the information about what they claim they're fighting for. You know, you know what I'm saying? My bad, you know.
Right.
And so I had to go and, you know, stumble across another website, which that website, that site is no joke. They're tracking, and of course, you know, any information or database is only going to be as good as the information they're able to obtain and create that data with, but they have enough, and they are behind the also, like right now they're just doing 2019 stuff because you got to wait till I guess all the data is in for that year. So and they know every name of every person that a police officer killed in the whole United States. You can break it down by state, by police precinct, where the cases were. So that's a good resource for us to use when we want to start throwing some stats around and can, you know, cite that that's the source. It seems pretty legit. And again, that's the information I expected to find from Black Lives Matter. So and now you're coming with your information regarding how the bait and switch, and, you know, and I get so upset that when we have something, it's always janky or some other stuff, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but what you got to look at, man, like some of these names, Alicia Garza, Patrice Cullors, Opal Tometi, like it sounds to me like these are not foundational Black Americans that we're talking about either. So, you know, that's something that we talk about on the show often too, with some of these you know, people that come from other countries and all that stuff, and really have a lot of anti-Black American sentiments in their culture. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And so, you know, they put these other things before their Blackness, you know what I'm saying? Whether it be their sexuality or whether it be swirling, you know what I'm saying, or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so that's what we see a lot of the times. You know what I mean? A lot of them, the founders, like I said, most of them are LGBT, and some of them have are in interracial LGBT relationships.
Right.
So they have these multiple allegiances, and it's not Black first. At the end of the day, it's not Black first. But just to get into a little bit of the history, they really came into prominence, I would say, when the Mike Brown case popped off, when the uprisings in Ferguson happened.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They started before that, around the Trayvon Martin time and all that. You know what I'm saying? But they really got themselves out there, and you started hearing the names of these people around that time when Ferguson took place. And there's a brother that, you know, I would tell the viewers to go look up, named Darren Seals, who was one of the activists from Ferguson on the ground, putting in the work before the Mike Brown situation came to be. And him and a lot of other people was out there putting in a lot of work locally, because stuff been happening in Ferguson before Mike Brown. A lot of stuff been happening out there. And they had some real brothers out there on the streets organizing and protesting and doing different things, bringing awareness out there. And so when the Mike Brown thing took place, it went viral because of the work that they had already put in. You know what I'm saying? So that's a national story. And so when CNN and all the MSNBC and all the major news networks and all that went to Ferguson, that's when you seen the Black Lives Matter people come in and be the ones that's up in front of the camera. You know what I'm saying? Because they're the ones that's backed by the corporate media. So they send their people out there to undermine the real organizers, the real protesters. People like this man that I'm talking about, Darren Seals, who was mysteriously murdered after these uprisings took place. And there was like 5 other activists that were murdered in a similar manner. And most of those are unsolved to this day.
Wow. Because I watched a special on, I think it was HBO, and I forget the gentleman's name, but he became a senator or some city council member or something to that effect. And he talked about his work with the Ferguson uprising and having being involved in that. And it was really good. And I think it's called something about, I'm going to say Superman or Ferguson or something, but I'll get the name of it. I'm going to look it up.
But yeah, man, some of the key people like D. Ray McKesson, Tefpo, Erica Gardner, which is the daughter of Eric Garner, Sean King. You know, everybody is not an enemy. You know, some of these people is cool. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And some of the work that I'll say this, some of the work that Black Lives Matter does is good. You know what I'm saying? Everything is not bad. Like some of the stuff that they're saying now about defunding the police and all that, I ain't really mad at that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
I found it. It's called St. Louis Superman.
St. Louis Superman.
St. Louis Superman. Yeah, it's very good. It is on, doesn't say right now which cable network, but if you did a search for it, it'll come up. It's on demand. St. Louis Superman.
St. Louis Superman.
It's pretty good. It's 28 minutes. You got 28 minutes to watch that.
Right. Now that defunding, sincere, that defunding.
We're gonna get into that in a second. That's part of one of the other topics. But I was just saying, Black Lives Matter that's something that they got on their agenda right now, and that's something that I'm not mad at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So everything is not all bad, but we got to be aware of, you know, we should have learned by now to not allow the media to tell us who our leaders are and what organizations that we need to be, you know what I'm saying, following behind and all that. Like they're not gonna sponsor our empowerment. That's not the way it's gonna go down. You know what I mean? This is something that's gonna have to be self-determination. You know what I mean? This is something that we got to do.
They're pretending they want to now after they start burning and shit up.
Yeah, now everybody's apologetic and they want to paint the street. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna say this: if those cops are acquitted, it's really gonna burn.
Oh man,
they better get it together. They know what to do.
They better find some charges. Find some charges.
Everybody talking about how bad 2020 is. Hey, I'm loving it, man. White supremacy getting a foot in their ass right now.
That's a fact.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I ain't see white supremacy take no L like this in my whole life.
Me either. Like we said last week when you asked me how did I feel about it, I was like, I'm happy. I really am. I don't care that they burning that stuff up. I'm happy.
Who cares?
It's something in my spirit that is lifted now. To see all these people out here night after night breaking curfew, like, okay, you think you're gonna tell me what to do, and you're not addressing the issue, and you fronting about you can't find no charges or how to make it stick. What? We done got you got it on video. And another thing, I haven't heard nobody talking about us playing the race card lately for a good long time now. Yeah. But at one point when we were
race baiters
making the claim or letting them know what was happening to us, everything was why y'all always playing the race card. Every time we tried to bring attention to the injustice to us, it was why y'all always gotta pull the race card. And back then my response was because it's in the deck.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm playing the race card because it's in the deck. Well, why you gotta take me out like the deuce of hearts when you're playing spades? Now you take the two deuces out, that don't matter. Right. No, my card in the deck, bro. I got a joker. I got the big joker.
I think with this, this was like, you know, the straw that broke the camel's back. And the thing is, a lot of the youth was touched by it because they got to see this murder on video. And you know, it really struck a chord with the youth. So the youth started running wild. They started galvanizing quick, like, yo, they had never seen anything like this. Like my daughter or the older kids, you know, the high school kids, and they saw that man murdered. See, we came up in a time where we heard about it, we read about it, you know what I mean? We saw a little bit of clips, but we didn't see the whole thing like that.
I still haven't watched it.
Yeah, me either.
Y'all didn't watch the whole thing? Y'all didn't watch the whole thing? Nah. Yeah, it changed. Let me tell you, it changes something in your spirit. It really ignites your spirit, because when you see it and when you look into that cop's eyes and you see like in the way in his eyes that he was enjoying it. It was like the evil in his eyes. So it struck a chord. And I think when the youth saw that, They have never really seen that before. And it's like they just jumped that low. This gotta stop. We
Yeah.
got down. And they ran to the streets and they started going, they went bug nutty. And I think
Wow.
it's a good thing. I think
They
it's a
were
good thing.
wild.
The
It
clips
was
that
like,
I saw were good enough though.
yeah, you don't want to watch that whole thing, man.
Yeah.
It'll do something to you, man. I was really messed up. I was messed up for like a good 3 days, man.
Yeah.
Smash the elements. Smash the elements.